doing it again, kicking off the beat. Check. Check 1. Check 2. Check 3. This is it. Welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour. I'm your host, Rob Cantrell, here with the vocoder. I didn't do it for episode 301. Well, let me say that again without the vocoder. This is episode 301. 301 of the Cannabis Coffee Hour, the best podcast in space, in inner space, around the universe. It's right here, it's right now, it's live, it's direct, it's funky, it's fresh, just like this afternoon cup of coffee. You know that afternoon cup of coffee? You know what I'm talking about. That between 2:35 and 4:50 when you got to get shit done, or you don't, or you just want some chocolate love, or some caffeine, or some warmth, or some cool. I don't know, man. It's just coffee has all kinds of ranges. That's why I love it. That's why I love doing the Cannabis Coffee Hour. I have to say, I'm so psyched to do another session of the Cannabis Coffee Hour. I love coffee. I love cannabis. I love doing this podcast. Every week we are evolving. The technology is getting a little bit better and different. I'm moving with the beat machines and I'm having fun with all of it. I just love this echo effect. But yeah, it's the tension is in the air. I got the beat. I'm gonna bring the beat down a little bit. Let's dub it out. Oh yeah. Dub it out. Christmas dub. I love the little drummer boy is my Christmas jam, I have to say. So is Afternoon Cups of Coffee. So is doing this podcast. So is the season, though. The season is tense. Let me bring the reverb off of this, because I don't want to add to the tension. We want to relax the tension. This is the Cannabis Coffee Hour. I got some great cannabis from, where was it? The travel agency, Dog Walker. There's an actual brand called Dog Walker, and they are dog walkers, and they're like one little tiny joints, and they're perfect. That's kind of probably the healthiest way to roll, is like the mini tiny joints once in a while. But everybody's on their own trip, and everybody's figuring it out as we go into legalization, into this new administration, which should be, it's not boring. Nothing is boring right now, I have to say. If anything, everything is so super amped up that it's hard to relax. And that's what I love about making music and being creative is I can relax and stop the mind. That is the number one thing to stop the mind from racing, is doing something creative or doing something athletic or meditating. I guess those are the three. And I've been pretty good with the whole balance of it all. I have been, like, I didn't meditate yesterday and I felt it. And then I meditated today And today is, Hiram's here. We've got this dope ass studio. We're working with these cameras that are beyond whatever, they're so high tech and so dope, and I'm so lucky. So I got to go grab the space, whatever, and he was cool enough to let me grab the space, and he's building it out. So yeah, shout out to Hiram. Shout out to the Christmas season and all the people running around, and the holiday season. Hanukkah, shout out to Hanukkah. Shout out to everybody. Kwanzaa, the life. But there is like a certain type of like running around right now. I don't care where you are, but it feels good. Like but it feels like what I thought about today is like you're going to all these like holiday parties and buying these gifts and running around and making hot chocolate. And, but then life is still going on. So you kind of have regular life going on, but then it just got amplified by the holiday season, which is kind of like sprinkling some extra shit to do in there. But it is good. The older I get, I understand about family and slowing down the speed. Have you been slowing down? I have. Here in New York, it went from like super rainy, death weather, cold, swamp, numb blue foot, dead fingernail, to like super sunny in a couple days. And it really is. It definitely changes your mood. I mean, it's really hard to get mad when it's nice out. I mean, I totally get California, but at the same time, it does make you appreciate it more. I guess that's what I do like about New York. That's what I love, I love California. I love the East Coast. I love the Midwest. But the changing of the seasons, there is some things that it does to your brain psychologically that is, just a constant change. There's constant change going on. On and on to the break of dawn. Does my voice sound good in the I would like to give a proper shout out to the coffee shop, but I was running and gunning. This was like, there's just so much coffee out there. I see like every other heavy metal band has a bag of coffee right now. Coffee shops, I love them. I love them all. Bad, good, you know me, I'll taste them all. But this place, I got a great chocolate chip cookie and a large coffee with oat milk. And that was like in the afternoon. And I have to say, that's a good go-to in the afternoon if you need a quick cheer up. And I do think chocolate has protein in it. But shout out to oatmeal. Speaking of oatmeal, Hiram, you don't even know, man. I made the most next level overnight oats. Like, these oats were partying. They went all night, my man. I've been getting it. I got you got to get the Quaker oat. You got to get the dude that has the long hair, the puffed out. You got to get the Amish dude on the cover, or your oatmeal. I don't know. Anything else that it doesn't have that old white dude on it, old Amish dude on it, Mr. Quaker Oats. It's not good. I got the original Quaker Oats, a fresh bad boy of it. And then I had a mason jar, and then I put all the oats into the mason jar. And then I had some leftover granola laying around that had all this crazy seeds and nuts in it. So I mixed that in there. And then I hit it up with some fresh blueberries, fresh cinnamon, and then I hit it with vanilla oat milk and chia seeds. And I put chia seeds in. And then I put the top on it, and I let it sit overnight. And when I opened that jar this morning, I mean, I've been making the banana smoothies forever, but this is a game changer. But the thing about oatmeal is, like, you'll fall in love with it, and then you'll fall out in love with it. There is something to, like, falling in love with oatmeal, and then being like, oh, fuck oatmeal. Hate oatmeal. I'm going to get a bacon, egg, and cheese. But, everybody loves the bacon, egg, and cheese. I got some bass coming here, Hyman. You don't even know. I got some the thing about the bacon, egg, and cheese, as good as it is, what always tops it is the breakfast burrito. The breakfast burrito, I mean, if you had to do it all over and said, Rob, you know, what do you want on that last morning? It would definitely be a fat-ass breakfast burrito. But I don't know. I've been pounding a lot of burritos. And I loved, you know, I lived in San Francisco, ate burritos. Chipotle took over the world. I always ate Chipotle, but now I don't know, it's weird how mass things get so big and you fall in love with it and then you just then it becomes just annoying. And Starbucks and Chipotle are at that level, but I get why people love them. I mean, I do it. I hit it up. I'm not too proud to beg. And I'll hit up McDonald's too. I don't give a fuck. But not all the time. I think people are learning that. You can't live and die by McDonald's, or you're gonna die. I think that was proven. But yesterday I just I didn't meditate at all. And I went right into the day, and I was kind of rocking it, but then some stuff came up. Stuff always comes up, and then it kind of threw me off. I was like, shit. And then I got all tangled up in my head for a minute, and then I was like, man, I should have meditated. So I think it's kind of like when you work out, you can always tell. And but everything's been balanced in the sense of I've been working out, and when I haven't been working out, I've been doing my steps, and then, just finding things around to do exercise is a cool thing to do. I have a fireplace, so I bring up wood 4 stairs. So that's another thing I do is it's just I love looking for the organic workout zone. But you do that in music too. I've loaded speakers, and then I've worked on sets before and working with cameras. You do get a natural workout. Working it out. What's it all about? Don't scream and shout. Yo, I don't need any clout. Yo, I know what it's about. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing is something. Something is good. If you like it, natural, like wood. Looking at the moon is natural. I've been doing a shout out to Young Ethels. I did some shows with her. I saw shout out to Judah Freelander from 30 Rock. Judah's my man. He was in a movie called American Splendor. You should check out. But I got to walk home. I just went out to a show. I mean, I sometimes perform at the show, but I didn't perform at the show. But when I was walking home, I was just getting full shots of the moon. And it was just so big. And I like throwing thoughts at it because it will reflect. You know that song, When You Wish Upon a Star, chances are you'll go. I do think there's something metaphysical to that. Putting something out there that far ahead. And that's what stars are. They're man, don't even get me started about light. Let's rock some lasers. Check, 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 check. Ooh.
Hello. Let me make sure. Take the beat off. Oh yeah.
My voice sounds odd. But I do like... Oh, there's the echo effect. That's what's happening. Let's bring it back to 1. And to 0. That's what going out to nature that I do dig, is going out and whether it's looking at the sky or I look at the moon and connecting to it all while I'm walking. And that's another thing, is the walking meditation. Like when you're going up and down stairs, you should really feel going up and down stairs, because that's all life is going up. And she's buying the stairway to heaven. Or it's, just walking up some stairs. Which is the other thing about life. Like, you can have all these big dreams and all this stuff, but it always comes back to like doing the dishes, folding your clothes, and just the everyday thing. An everyday thing is really just the beauty of it all. Making a funky beat, playing it. Let's change it up. Whoa. It's just too fast, Hiram. I was getting beats of like up to 120. But it's just not the vibe of the energy in the room. We're down to 72. But I do like this beat. Because another thing with this podcast, Another thing with this podcast, I'm getting some weird. Oh, I know why. Oh, there we go. That's normal, right? That's that. There's that. That's what I did get the review on this, and it's hard to get to 0 with this thing once it's set, and then you start playing with it. It goes all over the map. Shout out. Let me just slow down here, and that is a funky beat, but I just had to slow it down, and enjoy some of this coffee. Oh my goodness! It never stops being good. But it can anything you do over and over again gets played out. And that's the sad truth. But there is, I don't know, if you like something, you could rock it for a while. And that's why I do like this beat. It has a swing to it. Yeah, making crumb cakes. Watch me shake and bake. It's never too late. Just get down. Watch out for the evil clowns. Watch out for the funky clones. Watch out when I'm on the microphone. I step up, I wear a blue flannel. Watch out, I got trophies on my mantle. They're like first in rhyming. Watch out, perfect timing. Coming strong, coming again. coming back, I know I'm gonna win. I got a coach, he tells me every day. He says, Rob, do it your way. I said, consciousness, universal consciousness. Consciousness, universal consciousness. What you saying? Are you playing? No, just keep on playing. Play every day, play every day, play every day, do it your way, do it your way. How do you play? Oh, you just playing? That's what I'm saying. But you can't play too much. Don't be playing around. Get down to the sound of what I got going around. This is a podcast, a loose rhyme. I just do it all the time. Check in every week. Sometimes my rhymes are kind of weak. Sometimes everybody's like, this dude's a freak. But other times, oh, it's fucking unique. This is new. Nobody else is doing it. Watch out. I be screwing around with it. Well, not really. That's the other thing about the ego. You gotta hype yourself up, and then you gotta bring it back down. Sit down, and then you gotta get back up and drink more coffee out your cup. Yo, what's up, Amsterdam? Yo, what's up, Finland? Yo, what's up, Oakland? Hey, everybody, have a nice day and a nice evening. Get some oatmeal, put it in a jar. Put some oat milk in it, you'll go far. The next day in your car, you're like, Rob, you were right. Overnight oats, well, they're all right. Overnight oats, well, they're all right. Yeah, I said they're fucking tight. I might start selling them on my website. I got dreams, I got schemes. We're in this podcast machine. It's called the Cannabis Coffee Hour. Yeah, I smoke a lot of sour. Yeah, it's about an hour. Sometimes we do it for 48 minutes. Sometimes we do it for an hour and 23. Sometimes I have a guest, and sometimes it's just me. And today, well, this is what you got, but I'm gonna give it what you need. Oh yeah, this isn't about greed. This is just me trying to get some free coffee and weed. We got sponsors lined up. Who knows what kinds of guests I'm gonna get? Oh man, I know just about everybody. Understand? I know Steve. I know Bill. I know Candace. I know Quincy. I know a lot of people. And so do you. People never stop. People meeting people. I heard this old jazz number. People meeting people. I've been drawing too. I haven't been drawing. Like, I've been setting up everything so I'm ready to do it. I got a yoga pad, I got a meditation pad, I got a drawing thing, and I got some editing stuff. And I am doing all of it. It's a little bit like, but I think you have to be a little bit like good at everything these days with technology and doing stand-up and doing music and everything. You really have to be creative, both with the technology, and you have to be creative with the business sense. And it never stops, but it's never been a more exciting time to be a filmmaker. Wouldn't you say, Hiram? Yeah, he knows. Hiram works on films and does he wants to be in the background. But I wanted to just say that, and he knows because he's out there shooting stuff professionally. So it's just like there's a lot of work. When the strike bottled up everything. But with all this like explosion of content and the internet just getting so powerful, and then the streaming services switching over, it's just like I think it's a really good time to be a creative film. I mean, as hard as it is in terms of the access to the technology has never been there before. So if you have a love for it, it's like I have a love for these beats, but I never had access to an 808 machine or an Echo Effects box. But with technology, now I have my own little show here. Pumping beats. I have been listening to a lot of Kendrick. I do think Kendrick won it all. I know everybody's like, there's like 3 main talking points that's out there on the internet, and you get sick of it pretty quickly. But I do say that as a fan of hip hop, it's just like listening to Kendrick, I'm just like, holy shit, this guy is so good and, authentic and, not your typical, but at the same time, not just being good for the sake of being good. It's just like, I don't know. It really comes back to being yourself and hard work. It's kind of the longer route, but it works out. Yeah, I've been doing some stand-up shows, but the stand-up has gotten so odd and crazy. That's so sectioned off, and it was a lot different than when I started out. But there's still a ton of different shows out there, and the ones that I have been going up at, like the crowds are ready for it. So I just got to figure out my next hour is kind of what I've been prepping. And, with this podcast, I use it kind of as a creative journal as well. And I know a lot of it is you don't want to talk too much of stuff out. You want to kind of keep your dreams and stuff a little bit to yourself. But at the same time, you want to, it's just I know I could film a special and I have the material, and my last album was 2019, like right before the pandemic hit. So that's what kind of my next play, as soon as I get this podcast, as soon as we get a few sponsors, contact at Rob Cantrell, DM the CCH podcast, IG. You got to shout out to all the cannabis people. It's hard to have a social media presence as a cannabis company. There is kind of a backlash. As legal as everything's getting, they'll take your account down for cannabis content, and it's kind of wafty on why. And so there's it's kind of the wild, wild west out there in terms of social media for a cannabis company, in terms of you're like in a foxhole. But at the same time, word gets out. If stuff is good, word gets out, whether it's cannabis, whether it's music, whether it's comedy. I still believe in that. I think there is a cheesy mass consumption level of everything, but even getting on that level is kind of annoying, and it's a lot of work, and not many people make it out healthier. So it's almost, kind of, I as much as I complain about the DIY ethos, I do love doing it and figuring it out, because it can all be figured out. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no river wide enough. That was on my motivation workout at the gym. I will say my gym routine is like 20 minutes on the row machine with my back like completely straight. And I've been bringing my legs to straight. It's all about strengthening your knees. So I've been doing that all the way. And then I've been going down to the speed bag and putting on my Walkman. And I have been listening to some early Rocky. Eye of the Tiger still hits. It will still get you up and going through a podcast. But so will Juicy J and Monster Magnet. I've been playing a lot of, I still have a little love for metal. I don't know what, I think it's just rock and roll. And the thing that I've been playing guitar, I want to play a little bit more guitar. They have a guitar here, but I've been playing my acoustic at home. And I never realized how much of a rhythm instrument it can be. And reggae really especially dub, you see it used as more as almost the stabs or the bump, bump. That's almost the beat in itself. And it's just a cool, minimal, fun way to make music. I will say I love doing the beat sequencers. But the stuff that I have been losing myself, I keep on picking up the guitar. I'm having just a lot. I don't know what it is. I sucked for 10 years and then all of a sudden something clicked and I started gaining. I don't know. I just learned another level. And that's what's so trippy about all this stuff. It's almost like the less you want it and just stick with doing it, you just eventually get there by sticking to it. I don't know. You just learn and you don't think. I guess you learn when you don't even think you're learning. And I think that a lot of life is that. And letting go of shit constantly, man. Constantly, because maybe it's so finite. But I am planning this crumb cake. This crumb cake, I'm planning, I'm just getting so psyched about. So I'm going to get a pie crust, and then I'm going to get some apples. I'm not sure. I think Fiji apples might be the best apples to cook. I'm looking to cook this apples Southern style, all cinnamoned out with butter. And then I'm going to layer the bottom of the pie crust with that. And then I got this cinnamon, New York crumb cake topping. And I was going to top it with that. And then somebody gifted me this caramel, this caramel goo, you know what I'm talking about, the goo that's all caramel, the candy caramel. So I'm going to top the crumb cake with the caramel. And then you dust it with more cinnamon. I don't know. I'm a cinnamon. Even when I chewed gum, Big Red was my flavor. I love some Big Red. Just cinnamon knocks out everything. Cinnamon and turmeric and fresh mint. I got some fresh mint on my windowsill. And here's another good stoner move. You just take a leaf, you pluck it off, and you just chew on the leaf, the mint. And then you start smoking. It's just a beautiful taste. But you know what's good is mint in a watermelon salad. I've had a few of those. I love watermelon. I love being hydrated. I was telling Hiram about my other move, and I've talked about it on this podcast. I'm all about fresh ginger. I really think, I don't know, man. America, we got to start doing siestas and drinking more ginger. Naps and ginger. But health-wise, I used to preach naps, but I know everybody's got to hustle, and everybody has different wavelengths. My energy, I'll stay up and get up early. That's why I think I like to nap. And I was always jealous of people that could conk out for 12 hours. I was always 4 and then 2 and then maybe a couple others. But my sleep has been pretty good. I haven't been going out stand-up as hard, so it's just weird. I'm kind of evening out as I get older. But I know so much about stand-up. When I do go out, I make the most of it. Shout out to Scorpion Records. Rufat, who's been on this show, Agavi, he has a special coming out, but that's over in like this part of Ridgewood, Queens. And it's literally like a Deadhead record store. And then they have stand-up on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock, and it's run awesome. The crowd, but it's super tiny. You're literally in the middle of a tiny record store, but it's quietly some of the best lineups in the city, and some of the best. All the comics love it just because the crowd is so hip, and the record store is actually like a Deadhead record store, so people are smoking pot, and the bar's chill. They have great music. It's just and a lot of artists. That's the thing about New York. It is. New York, people think it's all about the money, but right now I do think it's about the art in New York. There's so many like production people and writing people, and but there's so many people here. That's what I was thinking about. Like, there's always somebody, like the head of like lampshades. There's an office. Like, if you narrow it down to the very, very best lampshade company, they have an office in Manhattan somewhere. Everybody always comes back to New York somehow, for some reason. But that's how it is with port cities. Always do feel that way. Norfolk feels that way. San Francisco had its own vibe, and even Seattle. Like, I don't know. There's there's like a commute around the ports. It's just different vibes. Let's see. I do want to play a couple more beats. Uh-oh. I think my beat machine... Maybe that's good. Check. Did I kill my beat machine? Oh, yeah. I played the beats all the way out. There's no more beats. Check. But I do have reverb. So this is good. So, yeah. Everybody, it's Christmas season. I'm enjoying some herb from Dog Walker. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to go about this podcast. Like, I do want to be open with sponsors and stuff like that. And I always wanted to make it like a space where, my idea is like to have a kind of a loose music space and bring in guests and characters and smoke some weed. So that's pretty much it. But as I go along the way, create new music and create new content and characters. And, everything is like you just work with it until it works out. And what's working out is legal cannabis in New York. And that's why, I will have to give a shout out to the Dog Walker cannabis pre-rolls. And the packaging is a little intense, but they're really classy and cool. And the cannabis is cut top notch, so I'll give them a shout out. But we're still figuring it out. And like I said, I'm not like a huge smoke all day and every night. But at the same time, doing an hour podcast, might need a little bit of weed. If you're doing it weekly. And it does make it fun, and I enjoy it. That's the thing about this podcast. Whenever I don't have anything to talk about, I can always talk about cannabis, and I can always talk about coffee, and those are two things that I can talk about forever. And I think anybody can, most anybody, forever. It's so funny. I don't think Hiram is hearing all the echo effects and beats and everything. So there's a lot of weird pauses. But hopefully everything's going to work out. Every episode I learn something. And I hope you do too. And what you can learn from this episode is like if you want to make some good crumb cake and cook some good apples, this is the season for it. The changing of the seasons. I don't like flannel, but when it comes to fall, I'm just itching to put on some flannel. Like, give me this flannel. I want to look like a lumberjack. And I want to drink some pumpkin spice stuff. and I want to sit next to fires, and I want anything apple. The thing about apple's good all year long, though. Summer apples are good. It's just the type of apples. You know, I do a whole stand-up bit where I talk like 15 minutes on all different types of apples. But they are the cornerstone of this country, and an apple is the cornerstone of the Bible itself. An apple is actually what I edit this whole podcast on. The apple's trippy, man. It's like the simplest food item that we have. It's very American. Wouldn't you say the apple's very American, Hiram? It's just an American fruit. Like the banana, I don't know. Is that French? I don't know. The pear is French. Definitely pear. I don't know. But the apple, American pie, I don't know. But there's so many types of apples, and that saying. That's why I've been that CrumbCake and everything. Another thing I've been sipping on. You know what is, Hiram? Apple cider, and I've been not even with the booze. I just sip it on the side. If you want to get through the snot season, the funk, dude, sip on some apple cider. Apple cider. I used to keep it around and it gets spiky. I haven't had some spiky ass apple cider. You got to wait till it ferments. I guess that's how they make kombucha, is they just leave it around. You just leave. And I guess this, and I'm taking the shot of the apple cider vinegar every morning, and I do love it. Apple cider vinegar in a glass of water. And it does clean out all. I got a cat. Dusty New York. All New York is dust. It's just all dirt and grime all day long. So you need some apple cider vinegar, and you need a couple dog walker joints. I don't want to blow up the spot too much. Like I said, I only like 1 or 2 hits. Hiram, you want this? We won't show him on camera. Well, he can be on camera. This is kind of cool because we filmed 5 years ago my talk show, Keep It Surreal, which I'm very proud of. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, I did that or whatever. And, we were doing like a full scale podcast, but it was like a talk show with guests and everything. But we were like a few years early, and we were all running and gunning. But we worked at this space, and that's what's so exciting, to be back here at this space, rocking and rolling. And hopefully we'll do more episodes here. And as the space gets built out, I can bring in musicians. We can smoke some weed. I want to get some bongos. I was looking for somebody. I talked to a couple guests, and one guy knew how to play saxophone. So I wanted him to bring his saxophone, and that would be kind of ill. So anytime the podcast just goes dry, the dude could just rock the saxophone. Not that things go dry, but you know what I mean. I just never wanted a regular-ass podcast. If I'm going to do it, we're going to do it funky and fresh. And we're going to smoke a couple dog walkers. We're going to talk to a lot of different people. We're going to eat some crumb cake. Oh. And, yeah, it's just the end of the year. That's the vibe. So, yeah, the record store gig I did was all the end of the year. Everywhere I'm going, it's like the end of the year. I think that's why emotions are high right now. There is kind of a end of the year type vibe going on. I don't know, Spotify raps. You guys know my number one Spotify rap? Bob Marley. So I've been rocking Bob Marley, but there's one song I think I keep on moving, which is my favorite. Lord, I gotta keep on moving. Lord, I gotta slow down. He's just all about moving forward. And as you go on, and New York has taught me that. I think life teaches that. You just gotta keep on going forward. No matter what you're going through, you can only deal with that moment as it happens, and then you gotta keep it moving, keep it grooving. And I also wanted to dance. I'm excited. I know I've been rocking this Roland T8. I rocked it out to there, but I have been looking to upgrade and mess with some other beat machines, and hopefully this will be a space for that. I want to do my goofy moves, because I just dig. I think dancing and moving your body is another good thing to do, and this is another good reason to do the podcast, is to pump some funky beats and do some freestyles, and we'll have some goofy characters on. I'm just so excited for the cannabis coffee in the new year. It's been, I've had a blast doing. I will keep on doing it forever and ever, because it kind of just centers my week. And not that I love talking to myself, but I also like testing, kind of looking in yourself. And a lot of that is like, acceptance and accepting the moment. And I accept that, the podcast world is crazy, but it's also a lot of fun. And we got something unique, and I'm going to keep on bringing in guests and playing funky beats, and also just tweaking it, changing it, finding what works. I need to figure out, how much weed I can smoke on camera and how much weed I can't. But I think all of these things are being decided now. Culture's being shifted. Culture's moving so fast. Well, technology's moving faster than culture, and culture's trying to catch up. In the sense that, just the politics and the trends, and, cannabis isn't federally legal yet. So there's that too that's on the table. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I don't want to have a political podcast, but I also don't want to stand around for the fuckery. And I want to have a podcast open and love and peace and, non-judgment and shit like that. And that's kind of hard with comedy because, being mean is kind of funny. But that's another thing you just learn as you get older. It's something, as I've said, is like, comedy is a self-defense mechanism. And, you could be a bully and shit like that. Gotta watch out for bullies. But bullies are being seen with the internet. But now they're, it's a wild time. But I'm not afraid. And I'm actually super excited to see how, some people are going to lay their cards down and see how everything plays out with legalization. But so far, it's been very good in New York. And the companies that are here are good. And I have to say, as people complain about the cannabis in the streets, I don't know. The crime isn't as same as it was in the 80s and 90s when it was cocaine and booze and evil is like bad shit's always out there. But New York and walking around and just having safe access makes city life great, especially as you get older, because it's fun to walk and you get to walk. And it's all about walking. It's all about moving your body and keeping your heart healthy. And cannabis is, walking and smoking a little herb and working out and stuff like that. That's kind of where my head's at. And I know that's Bob Marley has this quote about, like, people should just be playing soccer and hanging out with their families and doing, it's just gotten so, like, it's moving so fast. I think people are just now, even just the general public is realizing, hey, we're doing too much. And to slow down. You don't have to work that hard. You don't have to put that many posts up. But yeah, we're all dealing, and a lot of it is balance. It's balancing how much I get online, how much I don't get online, balancing how much energy I put to thinking about something. I will say that's cool about getting older is like you start to, that's what they say, is like you should see yourself from, like put yourself over here and then look down at yourself and say, hey, are you being your best self? And as you get older, you can kind of, you can kind of look over yourself and be like, okay, you seem to be very angry right now, or you're thinking about this a little too much. You can need to just, That's why I shout out to Eckhart Tolle and the whole Eckhart Tolle in the moment. Everybody, I mean, it's on every bumper sticker. These things come and go, but at the same time, there is like a leveling up, I think, with consciousness every time, some new, whether it's yoga, whether it's meditation, whether it's stoicism, it's like I've always said, I don't think humans know exactly what we are yet. Like we haven't figured out what we're even here for. That's why when, you hear somebody thinking they know what it's all about, you're like, I think, being creative and playing with beats and doing comedy is just good for my soul. And it's something that I always wanted to do, is just be in the creative field. And this I can kind of make my own vibe. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Shout out to Hiram. We're going to sign off, Hiram. This has been a fun episode. We're learning the space. Shout out to dog walkers. Shout out to random coffee shops with large cups of coffee for that afternoon slug. It's killed. It's done. That's it. Have fun. Peace. I'm out.